All right, everybody, so we're back at it again. We are getting ready to quote a job for DP that is really close to a job that I had quoted for DP before and we were awarded. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a recap because I'm sure you remember what the place looked like whenever I quoted it. And now this is what it looks like, and boy is it different. So you can see it there behind me. You can see all the trees that we had cleared off of this site. If you remember, it was chock full of trees on this front side and trees on the back side. You can tell that the homeowner has been cutting some of those. They wanted us to stack those up as they were wanting to cut it for firewood for their camp when they come down and camp here. You can see the pole building has been erected. And I tell you what, the view that this site had prior to us coming in here was it was night and day different than what it is now. You can see how clear and open the front side of this site is. You can see with their elevation, it's obviously way taller than I am, but you can see that they have a really good view of the Ohio River. It's a gorgeous view. They wanted to keep a few trees on this riverfront. They still want to have a discussion in the future in regards to clearing and removing some of those trees and potentially having an access to the water. But I tell you what, that building came out nice, looks good. You can see how Mike laid the bank back here. It's holding well. We stacked up some rocks down there on that end. One of these years, maybe they're going to want us to come back in and run some rocks all the way along so that they can ensure that there's no erosion from that top side. But as we walk down through here, you can see that there's the three big trees that they wanted to keep. The rest of the trees came out. There were a couple of trees that they did want to keep, but they needed to come out in order for us to install. You can see the septic system vent there. That's one of those good old Presby systems. As we come down through here, you can see that this site has, it's an awesome view compared to where it started. I'll show you up the driveway view. I think I took that in an earlier video. I'm sure those of you who keep tabs on my channel will be able to refer back to whenever we quoted this job, but the driveway came out nice. It's a nice contoured pitch down the side of the hillside here. And prior to this, there were some washouts at the top. And once we kicked that bank back on the back side of the building, we were able to bring that water down the right-hand side of the driveway, pull it right into this ditch, and it naturally goes through that pipe in which the county has ran under the road here. So that is a recap of this job. Now, we are waiting on a potential new customer. Right down the road here, just in front of my Jeep up there, is this is site 1 and 2, and down here is site 3, 4, 5. And this individual just happened to purchase site 3, 4, 5. Wanting to talk about some land clearing and a few other items that they're wanting us to potentially take care of for them. Geez, can't even talk this evening. But anyway, let's go have this conversation and I'll give you guys the update. We have had our review with this potential customer. This potential customer actually owns several lots down this stretch of the river. It starts up there, roughly by that dead spindly tree that you see, and runs all the way down the river, down there to where you can kind of see that mowed yard right in there. And they also own this side of the road. So what their goal is, they're hoping to be able to potentially build a home on this hillside, but they want to see the water from outside edge to outside edge of this property with some other specifics in which I'm going to go show you. So you all can see the water's edge down there. There's a lot of driftwood on this bank. They're not as concerned about the driftwood as they are the standing trees. Now that we're in here, you can see it's pretty thick. Yes, when you get to the road, it's obviously open, but their hopes, wants, and dreams is, as stated, to be able to see the river all the way down from one side of the property to the other, which is roughly 200 yards. And you can see here, this property has a lot of rocks that may be able to be utilized for landscaping. And this kind of runs all the way down through here, all the way to the far end where there's this beautiful rock standing up. So wants, right? Wants and needs. Needs, we need to be able to see from the other side of the road. Wants, we want to be able to see from corner to corner all the surface area of the water. Goals, we would like to be able to access the water from our home. We don't necessarily have to ramp a boat from our home, but we would like to build a deck out here that kind of creates a platform that allows them to have another area, waterfront if you will, for entertaining guests and things such as this. So I found this handy dandy deer trail right down through here, and I always like to use wildlife as my guides because, you know what, I bet you, excuse me, that was a bug. I bet you this deer is going down here to get a drink of water. So we're going to follow this path. Let's see what we find. We're probably going to find a lot of thick vegetation and probably some ticks and spider webs, etc. But let's see where this deer takes us. Looks like it's squirreling around. Oh, look, more rocks, more potential landscape rocks. I'm loving it. But look at this hole. Nice little hole right here. Oh, make sure it's not what I call a devil's walking stick, which is a tree with thorns. See if we can fall and bust our butt here. Step on that. Push through the weeds. I lost the deer trail, and it might be because they're little deer and they just go under, but looky there. That leads us right down to the water's edge. So, it's steep on this side, it's steep on that side, but right in here, another beautiful landscape rock potential. Right in here, I see a potential access point that gets them to the water, which is positive. I think we can achieve what they want with this endeavor of lot clearing for a view with the potential for access. Let's crawl back up out of this hole and I will kind of explain to you guys a little bit more how we like to look at these jobs and put a cost to them. So we're about up to the top of the hill now. The way we like to look at these jobs is, you heard me say there's a lot of potential landscape rocks down there. I don't know how many there are. I don't know how many are usable. However, there's rocks there. They have potential to be utilized because we don't like to throw anything away. So if we clear from that side over there to that side over there, number one, we're going to put a price to clearing it. Do you want it cleared and stacked? Do you want it cleared and burned? Well, I had the conversation with the customer. Their preference is to have nothing remaining except a nice bank. So we will remove these trees, and opposed to burning on the riverbank, we will most likely transfer them to the other side of the road where they own this piece of property, and we'll burn somewhere up in here near the rocks where the house isn't going to be built, because we don't want to bury the remnants where they're going to build a house. So as we come down through here, you can see there's another big rock right there. I know for a fact the 120 will move that sucker, assuming that's not the tip of the iceberg. More trees to remove. You can see this area in here gets a little bit more open, but I walked down through there earlier, and what I found was this area in here is just completely chalked, full. When I say full, there's some spots that's about 20 feet deep.
chock full of driftwood. Driftwood obviously can be burned just like a tree can. So I don't see a problem with that, but what I did see around, near, under, whatever you want to call it, all that driftwood, there was some more landscape rocks. So there's some really good potential on that front side. And then as I walked over here and walked across one of our friends' corner of his property, I saw a really cool rock. Now this is one of those, sometimes want to leave them because it's there, it's gorgeous, but if they want us to move it, we'll move it. See that rock in there standing on end? That great big dark object you see. Now I would think that someone put it there, and it might have been the river that put it there, but that's a really neat, right here on the property line basically. I'm standing on the neighbor's property. This thick stuff is their property, and there's a great big rock right on that corner. So I'm assuming the human stood that up. That's pretty cool. In here, we've got a lot of saplings and just stuff that the D4G would be able to kind of push around, and then we can grab it with the 120, put it on the fire, burn it down to nothing. But back to the, I don't know how many landscape rocks are there, because I don't. I've shown you a few, but I don't know the true quantity. So the way we like to look at these jobs is we're going to clear it. When we clear it, we're going to burn the remnants of what we clear. That's going to be the cost in which we provide to this customer for the first portion of this job. As we're burning, clearing and burning, should I say, and we find these landscape rocks, we'll be able to kind of pick them and move them, get them out of our way for the clearing. And once we get all of this clear, we'll have a much better understanding of the quantity, the size, and type of rocks that we're dealing with. At that point in time, we can have a secondary conversation with the customer in hopes that we have time on this job. We can provide them another number that says, hey, we can probably cover the entire riverfront with one row of rocks. Or, there are so many rocks in there, we can cover the whole darn thing. How much money do you want to spend? And realistically, that's what it all comes down to. This customer definitely wants it clear. This customer definitely wants it burned. So we know for a fact that we're going to give them a number for that. At that point in time, we'll bring them out here. We'll say, hey, we're about done. We've got all these rocks. We've got a few days longer that we can stay here. Let's have a conversation about your landscape rocks. And at that point in time, we'll figure out which route they want to take, because they also may have the potential to do some lot clearing on this side of the road, where they may build a potential house to kind of see where the best building site is or isn't, because that is a great big cliff. That skyline you see right there is the top of the cliff, and way down here is the bottom, and those rocks actually come towards us in the earth in here. And over here on this left corner, down by that broken off poplar tree right there, you can actually see the rocks. They're not tall, they're a couple feet tall, but they actually come out and they start turning right there. So somewhere up in there is a line of rocks that they'll have to understand that moving rock's expensive. Typically you got to hammer it, doesn't break off nicely. And do you really want your house foundation on top of a rock that may have a crack in it or two? Because we can't see what's under the earth. So what we try to do is find an area in here that is mainly dirt. It can be rocky dirt, but it's mainly dirt. For example, in here, you can kind of see where the original person who bought all this property and lotted it off kind of created an open area. This may not be the best area for a home, but this is obviously an area that is further away from the rocks, which may allow us to tuck the home back up in the trees, or tuck the home over here on the left-hand side and split the two lots. We don't know until we get in there and start tearing stuff up, but we do know this land has been perk tested. It has approval. It can have a septic system installed on it. What comes down to is, where do you want your house? Where can your house be put? And does that perk test work out for that? So, we've got all the information that we need except the river side of this property. When I got down to the bottom down there earlier, when you guys weren't on camera, there's a lot of riverbank that I can't get to because it's just so thick in there. So we're going to put the boat in the water And we're going to finish this quote in the water opposed to on the bank, so that we can pull up in, nose in wherever we want to on the riverbank and truly get a really good view of what Mike and I will be contending with when we clear this property. As for now, you gotta wait until we get the boat in the water. All right, everybody, it's been a few days since we started the quote for the lot clearing, if you will, on the riverfront. I'll have my partner in crime today, Okie. Huh? Wanna go for a boat ride? So we gotta get the boat hooked up to the Jeep, and we gotta go down on the river and actually get from waterfront a view of this lot so that I can truly tell how many trees we gotta take out, how steep it is. It's so thick you can't really walk all the way down in all of it. So I don't wanna misquote it. Okie. Let me tell everybody. Tell everybody hi. Okie. Heel. Good. And tell everybody hi. Huh? Everybody hi. Good boy. Good boy. So Okie and I are gonna hook the boat up. Uh-oh, he got you all dirty. We're gonna hook the boat up to the Jeep and we're gonna head to the river. Let's get this going. All right, everybody, when I'm launching a boat by myself, I like to do this. I like to tie my anchor rope right here to my gunnel handles, run it through the inside of the boat, kind of lay it off the edge, and then tie it to the back of my trailer. As I launch the boat, you guys will see the reason that I do that. Let's get this boat in the water. And yes, I already have the plug in. So now all we got to do is walk back here. You see the rope pulled the boat back up to the bank for us. Untie our knot. Oh, maybe. Untie our knot. Grab our anchor. Throw it up here on the bank. Our boat's gonna be perfectly fine right there. Okay, here. Now we get to see, guys, if the boat starts. Okay, load up. Load up. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Good. Hasn't been started since summer, so we'll see. It's a Johnson. Might be a little cold-natured, but we'll get her going. But as always, safety first, guys. We gotta get our life jacket put on. All right, let's see if this bad boy starts up. Huh. I'm pretty tickled with that one. Oh, we're gonna hit. That's all right, Okie. It's aluminum. And it was just wood. What do you think, Okie? You ready for a boat ride? Place. Sit. You can turn around if you want there, buddy. Huh? You can turn around if you want there, buddy. Okie. Okie. What are you doing? Good boy. Alright, let's get up to the job site here and let the motor warm up just a little bit while we're kind of just cruising. We'll get up to the potential job site and see what it looks like from the riverbank. Man, I tell you what, I gotta thank my wife again because I am loving these seats. A lot more comfortable to drive. You lean back, still got your hand on the steering wheel, got the throttle controls right next to you here, but I think the old Johnson's ready to hum, so we're going to get this sucker up on plane. In this 17-foot boat. I sure do like it. I think Okie likes it there. What do you think, bud? Huh? You a good boy?
this yard turns into basically woods. This is that entire property that they want clean. I'll give you guys the full view. I'll get a little bit closer here. So there's a decent stretch of woods here. And realistically, there's not a whole lot of trees, but they don't want any remnants left over. So basically what we've got is a whole lot, I mean a lot, of driftwood. You can see that big pile of driftwood there, right there. You know, big rocks like that we would leave in place. We would hope to use some of the rocks that are up on the bank as more of a, I don't want to call it decoration, but landscaping. So it looks to me like the riverbank actually gets pretty steep down here on this bottom edge, but there is a ledge up there that we could potentially crawl across. We're gonna get up in there and get a little bit closer look, because there's a, take the old sunglasses off, there's a lot of stuff there. Yeah, and right up there, there's the culvert, or the guardrail, which marks the end of the property line is right up there, just off of that sycamore tree. Wow, Okie. There's a whole lot of driftwood there. We've got a whole bunch of rocks down here, though. That's a good thing to see. Lots of potential for a future landscape on this riverfront, which also helps hold the riverbank back. Looks like we're not too steep for the majority of the property, but boy, once you get up on this top half, I shouldn't say the majority, half the property isn't too steep, but you get up here on this top half, it gets pretty steep up in there. I do still feel like we can build us a bench right in here, kind of scratch out all that stuff and work that hillside, push the trees over, and then crawl down in here and work that hillside from the bottom edge and stay on a bench. So I'm still feeling good about it. And you can see the riverbank right there underneath all that stuff. So it's just a whole lot of burning. It'll be several days of burning in here. Several days of burning. All right, we have landed. Let's give her a look from the bottom side. You guys can see, heck, that's probably 8 foot tall there, and that's just straight off the edge. What happens is the river comes in here and it just kind of chews that bank out all the way down through there. But you can see where all the rocks are stacked up. That has stayed. So we will probably long-term take some of those rocks, not on the actual land clearing. We'll get the land clear, get everything burnt, get it scratched off as clean as we can get it, because you can see there's rocks up in there too. And then we will take these rocks if the customer wants to take the next step. So we can pull this bank back a little bit and smooth it all out, and then take a lot of those rocks on the upper side and place them down through there to hold that bank in place. But that all depends on what the customer wants as their end game, or hopes and dreams, whatever you want to call it. But Okie, what do you think? You ready to go potty? What do you think? Sit. Good boy. Now, Okie has been trained. You kind of see him flinch there, because that's his signal to go get something for me, his name. But I've trained Okie. You guys can see that he's just a good dog. Love him to death. He's my partner in crime, aren't you, bud? Huh? Yeah, you're ready to go use that nose and smell some stuff out, maybe pee on some trees, huh? But you can see he stays there. He's not going to do anything until I tell him, go play. Good boy. All right, we're gonna wet down some trees here real quick and finish this review. And as always, guys, we appreciate the views. Keep coming. I know sometimes there's a time gap in between me putting videos out, but we're busy. We're busy.
And hopefully this winter things are going to slow down and we'll play some catch up on some videos. But as always, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you turn those notifications on. Tell them bye, Okie. Okie. You tell them bye? Huh? Okie, here. You tell them bye. Tell our fans bye. Okie, right here. Look. Tell them bye. Give them kisses. Tell them bye. Good boy.